Hey everyone, welcome back to Parkitect Disneyland. I'm still on the main street, so I'm very sorry about that if you're getting really bored of the main street, but I have to get it done. So I'm doing the final corner building on the end of the main street here, on the right side of the main street, and this building is something that I am so happy with. It turned out so well in the end. It really was just a series of repeating the same thing on this building for each little section, and it really just turned out to look really stunning in the end, and I'm really happy. It's one of my favourite buildings that I actually built on this main street. So when I say that this main street is nearly finished, it's kind of a lie, because although I have done like all the main buildings down each side up to the corners, the very bottom of the main street hasn't actually been done yet, and that is something that I'll start today in this episode. But basically I have to sort out the middle area where the little pavilion is, and I'm going to put some planters around. There's the two very first corner buildings I built need some more buildings either side of them, and then down the actual sides where you would come out from the train station needs some bigger buildings there as well. So that is something I shall do over the next couple episodes, and then once that's done it's literally just a matter of placing some lamps and some bins. And also I've got to do the tram tracks for the main street, of course, and then this basically is done, and then I can move on to show you the next part of the build, which actually is Tomorrowland, if any of you wondered. Tomorrowland was actually one of the parts of the park I was most excited to build. I had so many ideas for it, and especially with, I don't want to give too much away, but especially with Shanghai Disney bringing out Tron, and obviously Disney Florida announcing that they're going to build a Tron ride as well. I had to build a Tron ride, so that is something that will be coming up in the future with this series, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, this is really taken a long time, but I'm sure you can understand why. If you've tried to build a main street before, then you'll understand completely why it's taken so long. So this building is basically just a white and a lemon colour, and I try and keep that. The one opposite this building on the other side is kind of like a green and white colour, so I didn't want to have anything that's similar, but I also wanted them to kind of match. So the way they match is they both have like the tower on the corner, the highest part of the building, and I think that way they both tie into each other even though they are both different buildings. So in the latest update of Parkitect, which came out this week I think, I haven't actually played it yet, but I know there are these resizable shapes. Now I'm very tempted to go back in to what I've already done in my Disneyland park and kind of add some of these shapes. There is a cone, and you can resize the cone, and that would be great for doing some of the roofs on some of the buildings, or some of the other shapes. I'm sure I could figure out something I could do. I've made some very awkward roofs like this one here, where the pieces, it's too small to get the pieces all to line up, so I kind of done it so they overlap, and then kind of covered the mess in the middle with a spire spike. So I think maybe I can experiment with those new pieces, and especially the Disney Castle, which is also, I have actually already built as well, which I'll show you. I think I built it before I do Tomorrowland, so maybe you'll see that before I show you Tomorrowland. But that is something I might go back in and change all the roof pieces to these new cones that you can do, because I mean with these new pieces in the game I think you could probably build a really good castle, because you can get all the different tower sizes and all the different spire roof sizes, and I think it's going to be great. So I'm going to have to go back in to my castle, which I built before those pieces came out, and just maybe edit that a little bit. I don't want to change too much from the castle because I really did a really good job on it. I think it took me a really long time, and I built 2 of them, so I don't want to build a 3rd one. I built 2 because the first one didn't turn out how I wanted it. So that's that building on the corner kind of done. I do actually extend it a little bit more to the left later on, but that is not until I realised that it wasn't close enough to what I built next, so you don't need to worry about that right now. So I'm just going around and adding all the rails to the top of the roofs on the buildings that I didn't put them on. That's basically the kind of main size of this main street. And to be honest, when I built it, I kind of couldn't really believe that I had built it, because it seemed like such an impossible, hard challenge. So now I'm going to go in and do some of the tram tracks. As you know, Disney Main Streets have tram tracks up the middle. So they can run like a little trolley up and down. So I've achieved this by sinking in a fence from Shy Guys 4 set. These sink just low enough that the top pokes out through the paths. And I basically just laid them down in like a parallel fashion. And then this bit was kind of complicated because I had to figure out when they split which way they go and how they're going to go around. And obviously one of them will also split off again and go through like a maintenance gate where it can have maintenance on the trolleys, but that is something that the guests won't kind of see. It's kind of hidden, so that's something I have to incorporate. As you can see, this is the track that I lead off, and it should go somewhere through a gate over this side. Now there are actually trolleys you can download, which I didn't know that I could get at this point. I'd seen them and I just thought maybe they were a mod or something, like a train ride mod. And it turned out they're from the Iron Horse mod set, and it's actually a really good set that has different kinds of trains and different kinds of little track pieces and all sorts of bits of theming for your park. I just downloaded that set from online. And then yeah, it has these trolleys in it, and they are perfect for Disney Main Street. So I actually just plopped a few of those in to give the Main Street here a bit of, make it come to life a bit more. So I'm just making some planters by putting some path gathers down, rising them up one height level. And then I shall try and cover those in bushes and plants and stuff. I think planters are very important to big concrete areas because it really breaks up the concrete, so that area is not so grey. The colours I've used in this Main Street, I've been kind of conscious with what I've used, because the whole Main Street for me, when I think of Disney Main Street, I always think of this kind of like vintagey looking Main Street that is very grand, but also kind of has like a sepia effect, you know, from like a filter on Instagram or something. And so all the colours in my Main Street are kind of got like this kind of sepia look to it, and some of the dark greys really make some of the colours pop. And so yeah, that's I've kind of kept the colour scheme. There are a lot of different colours, but they all kind of go together in a way. Maybe that's something I thought about a bit too much, but it's something that I included into when I was building this. So I'm just outlining. I thought the red paths weren't really wide enough, but I didn't want to make the red paths wider because I didn't want to have that much red on the sides. So I'm just outlining them with a dark grey path just to make them wider and to actually give them kind of like an outline. It kind of makes those red paths pop a bit more. And it actually really did make a difference to how it looked on this Main Street. It really did make those paths really stand out at the sides. So that's kind of the pathing done. It's going to be one more planter here. This is something I don't really do very often, and it's used flowers. But I thought this is a great kind of, I never really found the right time to use them, and now I thought this was the right time. I basically just put lots of green plants down, and then in every gap I've just put a red flower in. And it also just gives it that extra little colour, a splash of colour. And I was kind of happy with that. I just placed them down really randomly. There was no kind of method to it. So another building, here we go. This one is a 3 square, 4 square, 1, 2, 3, 4 square. And it is not really got a function, this one. It is just like a facade next to this building here at the front. This is where kind of I'll extend the train track to go around it. You'll see I'll make a fence. This is kind of, after I've built this building, this is kind of where I'm going to leave it for today's episode, because otherwise it's too much. But in the next episode or two, I will show you the rest of these buildings down this side. At this point of the build, I was starting to run out of kind of ideas on how to do buildings, and I wasn't really sure what else I could do, and somehow I managed to like pull it out of the hat and build the last few that I needed. But I was definitely scratching my head at this point, and it was getting a bit difficult. I'd never built a main street on this scale before with this many buildings, so it really was a challenge. But the video is coming up to an end now. I want to say thank you for watching. If you've liked it, please give me a thumbs up, please comment and subscribe. And check out my other series as well, Cedar Fair's Adventure. That is, I'm on episode I think 17 now, or 16, and that is really coming along now. So check that out. Thank you all for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Hit that jive jack, put it in your pocket till I get back. Going downtown to see a man, and I ain't got time to shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in your pocket till I get back. Time and time waits for no man, and I ain't got time to shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in your pocket till I get back. Going downtown to see a man, and I ain't got time to shake your hand. Hit that jive